Okay, greetings to anyone joining us this evening. We are a little bit later in the week than we normally would stream, and it's also a little bit later in the day, starting at 10 p.m. my time rather than 9:30, which I'd normally do on a Sunday. We have got the timer counting down, meaning that we're just about to start. We're in the kind of pre-show, I guess you could call this. I usually play in with a video. Last week I played in a tribute to the YouTuber Terrible Tim, who had sadly passed. Do I say last Sunday? It was Sunday before last. This one, unfortunately, is another tribute. Another person, another great YouTuber I've heard recently passed away. Greetings to Susan Byrne. Hi, Bobby. Here we are again back in this crazy world. Yep, exactly. It's certainly a roller coaster, and if we can each help each other make sense of it, then I think we're doing something good. I am going to, as I say, also Mudlark Digging Up the Thames did comment a bit earlier, but his comment hasn't made the on-screen chat box. He did say, let me have a look, I've got it on. He said he bets neither Sarah Everard or Wayne Couzens actually exist, and that's what I replied to when I said, let's see if you still feel that way after our inspection. I do need to check my audio, dot a few I's, cross a few T's, and we'll be going live. So I will leave you with a playing video tribute to a great YouTuber. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Rob Skiba. He had a huge channel on YouTube, over 250,000 views. Sorry, 250,000 subscribers. So, you know, pretty mainstream, but he shared a lot of great information. And he had a wonderful way of presenting information from the Bible and his interpretations on some of the stories. Very interesting. I will be leaving links in the live chat to both this video that we're about to watch now. Bear in mind, this comes from 2015, the video we're about to watch. It was from a presentation he gave, along with a load of other people. We'll watch it and we'll talk about it after. As I said last week, it was a tribute to Terrible Tim. Terrible Tim was someone I'd kind of heard of, but I probably was subscribed to him, but I wasn't massively into his videos. This guy, Rob Skiba, yeah, I've seen a fair bit of his work, although he has got loads of stuff up on YouTube. And yeah, I recommend giving him a sub. I'll share the links and then I'll play him, and once that video's done, we'll be going live, okay? Bear with me. Alright, perhaps I'll start the video playing. Yeah, we've got a few things to cover this evening. I did say at the end of my last live stream, I would look at Sarah and Wayne. Oops. Do you know what? I had a whole load of links ready for this one. Here we go. Okay, so I will be sharing yeah, I will be sharing the links to Rob Skiba and his YouTube channel. If anyone wants to check him out, I'd recommend it. I'm also open to look at any subjects that anyone wants us to talk about tonight. I always say I learn quite a lot from the live chat, probably as much, if not more, than you guys learn off of me and what we look at. Okay, so without further ado, this is my tribute to the YouTuber Rob Skiba, and this is a video from 2015. Very telling, very poignant. Definitely worth watching the whole thing. Alright, I'll be back in a few minutes. This video goes on for not particularly long. I'll see you soon.
Well, Dr. Thomas Horn and others speculate on this, how something like this might happen with regard to a pandemic. Again, in true Hegelian style, Hegelian dialectic is where you cause a problem which causes a reaction that you just so happen to have the solution for already ready to go, right? So, okay, just imagine this. Whoever they are, they're responsible for everything, right? release a really bad flu pandemic of some sort. Well, imagine this. If you don't get the shot that they've got all ready to go for you, no shot or cure means, well, you don't have a job. Somebody mentioned last night their job requires them to take the flu shot. And if they don't get the flu shot, they lose their job. So we're already seeing kind of a microcosm of that happening right now, a test. Got to take the shot. Or you can't be a teacher in school, or you can't work at CVS or whatever. You got to take the shot. So they're already making it mandatory for some people. So we've got a little miniature test going on with that. If you don't take it, there's no cure, no job. You end up being quarantined. Oh, you don't want to take the shot? You don't want to take what really I believe is going to be the mark of the beast? Well, fine, you're going to have to be quarantined. Bring you over here. Well, that means you're not going to have any money, which means you won't be able to buy or sell. That seems to be a good explanation to me to explain why they can't buy or sell, but also explain why they beg for death, but death flees from them. Because they can't die, right? So that's if you don't take the shot, you end up with no job, quarantine, no food, or no food, no buying or selling. But if you do take the shot, well, you have some interesting side effects. It's like those commercials, where you always see the drug that they're offering. Side effects may include drowsiness, blah, 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 Take the shot. Side effects may include counterfeit immortality, not redeemable, and cast alive into the lake of fire. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. All right, I'm joking about it, but it's serious. That's some serious business right there. And there's going to come a time, especially if we're going through this thing, where some tough decisions may have to be made. When you're looking at your kid that's got this pandemic that they released, and they've got this cure over there, but you heard this stuff, and the Holy Spirit's telling you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't inject your kid with the mark of the beast. We're going to have to work on that strong faith thing and believe in God and trusting in Him.
Okay, apologies for that bit of dead air there. We'll just talk about Rob a little bit more because, like I said, he's got a load of stuff on his YouTube channel. Just looking at the chat, it says Mudlark asks about Wayne Couzens. Did he die? No, I haven't heard that. We will be having a look at the story, so might be able to answer that better shortly. Susan asks, when did Rob die? In fact, we'll have a look at his channel now. Bear with me. I heard about it just the other night. I'm not sure if you guys were familiar with him. As I said, pretty big YouTuber. And apparently the word was he was in hospital with COVID-19. Now, if you just watch that video, you'll see why. Yeah, I mean, he was what you would call a truther, but who knows the real cause of death? I mean, I'm not sure whether it made, national, mainstream media news or what. But yeah, he does a lot of biblical videos, he did a house church. Really, really unfortunate to hear of his passing, actually. I want to bring your attention to a playlist, kind of touches on some of the things I talk about. He was working on a kind of a animation project. So he was looking into, it was called Seed, and he was looking into animation. And he had a playlist. I was watching it earlier. Let's hope I can still find it. I'm sure it'd be in my, I'm sure it would be in my playlist. Let me see. One of the things it talked about, I'm not sure if any of you have heard of it before, the Valley of Uncanniness, or the Valley of Canny, realistic CGI. Here we are. I'm not well, maybe if we have an interval tonight. I'm not planning to go too late, as it is already 10:15 my time. But, of course, we have to watch a YouTube advert first. The Valley of Uncanny. It's quite an interesting scenario where people, how they view special effects and CGI. Right, we can skip this ad. Let's see. Yeah, this talks about in fact, we'll listen to this lady talking. We will be looking at, as I said, Wayne Couzens and Sarah Everard a little later in the stream. We will be inspecting some of all the available footage. Ask yourself one question though. The last person that you knew that was killed, well, not even killed, died, how soon did you know absolutely everything about the cause of death? But anyway, that's something for a bit later. At the moment, I just want to... let's watch this couple of minutes. How long did it go on for? 2 minutes 23. This video about the Uncanny Valley, it's called. And then I'm also going to quickly share this video to Twitter. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'll be back in a minute. What am I doing right?
We've all come face to face with the Uncanny Valley. You might have been watching a movie, playing a video game, or watching the colorful animatronics at Disney World. You had that gut feeling that something just wasn't quite right. In 1970, Japanese robotics engineer Masahiro Mori first coined the term Uncanny Valley. Mori noticed that the more human his robots appeared, the more people reacted positively towards them. However, when the robots appeared very close to humans, but not enough to be convincing, people found them to be visually revolting. This chasm between nearly human and fully human is what Mori identified as the Uncanny Valley. With the advent of CGI technology, discussion about the Uncanny Valley has been more prevalent than ever, as filmmakers and animators alike have continued to struggle with it for decades. One of the most prominent examples is the film Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. The film featured more realistic CGI animation than had ever been attempted. The main character, Aki Ross, was composed of over 400,000 rendered polygons and 60,000 fully rendered and animated hairs. Despite this meticulous attention to detail, the film bombed. The failure of Final Fantasy has been largely attributed to the Uncanny Valley, which was a major source of criticism from filmgoers and critics alike. That same year, DreamWorks Animation Studios narrowly avoided the Uncanny Valley themselves. During a test screening for the film Shrek, children started crying because the main character, Princess Fiona, had been rendered too realistically, giving her a spooky effect. As a result, the animators of the film toned down the character's realism and made her features more cartoony. But fear of the Uncanny Valley has not stopped filmmakers and animators from continuing to try and innovate realistic CG animation. The Polar Express, a film released in 2004, pioneered new motion capture technology. This process involved recording the movements of live actors for their animated counterparts. The filmmakers hoped that this new technique would remove the unnatural movement of digital characters that made audiences uncomfortable. This technology was received with mixed success. Technology may someday reach a point where the Uncanny Valley is no longer a problem. Robots in animation could become so sophisticated that they blend in seamlessly with reality. One thing is certain, technology will never stop trying to push the limits of realism. The Uncanny Valley is here to stay. For more on robotics and animation, check out Mashable's latest...
Okay, as I say, the Uncanny Valley, it's talking about a situation where CGI and very realistic looking dolls and stuff can be seen as absolutely repulsive when they're at a particular point. They made a graph, so it must be true. Here we go, you can just about see it on the screen. Human like this. Affinity, how people feel towards these animations, and it drops below our likeness. Anyway, what this hugely reminded me of, do you know what, I believe I need to line my screen up. Can we all see everything? Yep. If I do a search for, actually, yeah, I've got another clip, a video to share with you of something I saw on Instagram. Very strange, very odd. Okay, let's start with this. Is this an example of the Uncanny Valley, as they talked about? My computer is on a go slow. I think I've got too many programs opened. While it's trying to load, I will have a quick look at the live chat. Hi to Bob Mule and Mudlark Digging at the Thames and Susan Byrne, who's been with us from the start. Thanks everyone for joining us. If anyone else is tuned in and wants to say hi in the live chat, it is always good to know who is watching us. Right, what do you people make of this video? It was on the Instagram account bbaby.lovely. So beautiful baby, sweet. Do you think it's the real baby? Watch its movements. What its movements are very uncanny. Oh, didn't know it had volume. Right. Check this out. Real or animation? I know what I think. Look at the spiky hair. No real baby's hair sticks up in a spike unless you put gel through it. That was, Joe, I started watching Instagram, after watching all these videos on Instagram, and there were animals on there, which were almost like a cross between a cat and a shire horse. Very, very odd. Another place where people have been repulsed by a baby, and that's not me being evil, that's not me being cruel, this is the official narrative. In the case of Jake Quickenden, if I put the word trolls, let's see what you think. Hits back at trolling over. If you hear, we've played this video before. I'm not going to play it again. Apparently, yeah, here we go. Now, I always assumed this was maybe a fabricated story that they wanted to make up, that people were being horrible about Jake's baby. Right, Jake Quickenden has revealed that he was left horrified when Voltroll urged him to drown his baby son. Now, that is not a natural response for anyone to have towards a baby. Even if you think it's odd looking, it kind of talks of a level of revulsion. And now, as we see in some of these videos that Rob Skiba puts up on his channel, they talk about making videos so realistic now that yeah, we unfortunately have to watch an advert first, but never mind. Right, while the advert's playing, oh, it'll start in a minute. This is how real animation and CGI has now got, because it turns out all of this is CGI. This is how realistic it can get. In fact, if we play on, we get to see how they made it by mapping out movements of the human face, even hairs that are individually animated, although they don't often bother with that, as we saw with that kind of peculiar looking veiny baby. It's they often don't bother animating the hair, and often they'll show it looking like with wet hair. You see that a lot with Harry and Meghan's child. When they did a book reading, the baby's hair was very wet. And it just saves them, in my opinion, saves them the time of having to animate individual hairs like this video here is demonstrating. CGI used massively in the mainstream media, but it is unbelievable how easily these things can be made. I will have a look at the live chat in a minute. Let me see. Mudlark asks, who is Rob? Yeah, basically, this is Rob. Oh, have I shared links yet? If not, I'm going to show some now, including to that video we just watched a minute ago. Right, where are we? Okay, this is Rob Skiba's YouTube channel. Here. I get a lot of this whirling ball on this computer. Right. Okay, I will... another moderator's... Right. Here we are. And actually, the video that we played at the start of the video, of the stream, was not actually from Rob's channel. It was from a channel called Jazzy Man. So a link to the original video where we have Rob Skiba talking about a pandemic and stuff. Interesting stuff. He was either very accurate, incredibly accurate. People did have mixed views on Rob, and not everyone thought he was maybe as legitimate. I mean, he had a huge YouTube channel. Videos get hitting like millions of views and stuff, which is very difficult to achieve. But then he has been around for a long time. He makes a lot of excellent content. So, yeah, his videos, should be getting 4 million views easy. They should be getting more than that because the stuff he shared was highly entertaining. Right, so this next channel is where it came from originally. Jazzy Man channel. We will get back to looking at Sarah Everard and Wayne and some footage, well, basically all the footage that they've put out. Where are we? Yeah, I managed to... I have actually done a video on... I want to load it up, but if you bear with me 1 second, I'll be loading up a video. I could just watch it. We could watch it on here. We don't need the audio, although we could play it. Right, this is the footage that appears on the story. Okay, this is from the Daily Telegraph channel. Hang on, where are we? Alright, as I said, actually, someone in the live chat, I just want to clarify this. I didn't follow this story massively close. Did Wayne Couzens commit suicide in prison or something? I mean, it would have made a easy end to their story. Susan says she's been lucky to catch me live in the last few weeks. She enjoys my take on things. Thanks very much, Susan. It's not the best, I will say, it's not the most well-organised videos that you'll find on YouTube, unfortunately. But, I do my best. Right, okay, this is the moment Sarah Everard was stopped by Wayne Couzens. I'm sure we're all familiar with the story. If we're not, then let's have a refresh. Actually, we'll search for the other guy. Mudlark Digging Up the Thames, I'm not sure if he's still with us, but he did share this story with me the other day about radio DJ Emma B. So thanks, Mudlark, for making me aware of this one. Okay, radio DJ Emma claims Wayne flashed her in 2008 and police laughed in her face when she reported it. What do you think? Does it look like a man in a wig by any chance? But that's beside the point. Perhaps that's why they laughed in her face. The broadcaster known as Emma B reported the incident to the Met and was struck by their feeble response. Radio DJ Emma Wilson. So this story basically backs up the possibility that Wayne Couzens was a real human being. Emma Wilson has claimed Wayne flashed her 13 years ago and the Metropolitan Police officers laughed in her face when she reported it. The Magic FM broadcaster, is known to listeners as Emma B, waived her right to anonymity and says Couzens exposed himself in November when she walked past an alleyway in Greenwich, South East London. Speaking to Radio 4 Woman's Hour, Miss Wilson said she was so very sure it was the 48-year-old after seeing his photo in news reports. Wow, so 13 years ago some police officer flashed her, and she didn't find out then who it was because the police laughed in her face, and now she's seen this guy who, to be honest, changes every time you see him. I'm sure they've got his picture up somewhere. Oh. Is that the story? Well, yeah, apparently the Metropolitan Police and the Watchdog are investigating. The IOCP is looking into the Met's handling of 3 other alleged indecent exposure incidents involving Couzens, including one said to have taken place 3 days before he murdered Ms. Everard. Shall we see footage of, this is what the press are giving us, CCTV shows moment Sarah Everard was stopped. So did he stop her in a police uniform? Anyway, let's see it. You've got to see it to believe it. CCTV footage shows Sarah's last movements. Was that supposed to be her walking by then? Yeah, it was. That was it. Very blurry. That car tyre there has a lot more detail than, in fact, it almost looks like they deliberately blurred this image out. Play it at half speed. How do we do that? No. Right, 0.2. 0.5. We will actually be looking very closely at some of these images. This is it. That's her walking past someone's hedge. I'm not sure when this footage came out. Here she is again. But that's jerking. Got a mask on. Could be absolutely anyone, to be honest with you. No idea who that is. How have they got so many positive sightings of this woman already, and why would they put it on the news? As I said, I don't know when this story came out. I don't know when the event happened, but this isn't the sort of things they would generally share about a murder trial. I think they would want to keep this stuff, I don't know, some information gets kept under wraps for a very long time in cases of death. So the fact that the Daily Telegraph have already got every known sighting of this woman's on the day it happened. Still waiting for Wayne to appear. Here she is. This is the footage we're going to look at closer. in a bit. Don't know if you notice there's always like a ghost in. We're still waiting for her to meet Wayne. Otherwise, all this is just a... The old Bailey was told Cousins may have used lockdown powers. Well, what does that mean? At the minute, just a blur coming around the corner. What's going on there? To lure Everard into his car and arrest her. This is the moment. This is the moment. Awful image quality. Could be anyone. But so basically the police have said, well, this is all the evidence we had against him, and we're going to set it. Notice it is in reverse at the moment, and just if you're someone that likes to look for the numbers, have a look, because 33 appears at the top here, but has been flipped. 3rd of the 3rd, 21. So that's obviously the day it happened. The court heard how Cousins strangled and raped, and there's your number again, 33. If you're one that likes your numbers, then this is it. In fact, I'm sure others come up. Notice how the light changed on them there? Right, look at them. They're kind of all... Well, he's transparent, actually, for some weird reason. I'm not sure if you can see the car behind him. Cuts through his shirt. Very weird. They've at least managed to keep Sarah solid. But look how the light changes. Mr. Transparent, I don't think... Really, I want to play it frame by frame. Just at one moment the light kind of changes on them. They look like holograms to me, I will be honest. And now all of a sudden they're bathed in light. And there is a lot of boxinesses around them as well. And in a minute I think they just have there you go, plunged into darkness now. And they become like holograms. I'm not sure. I think what comes next, I don't know if there's any audio. We get to see Wayne being questioned. Here we go. This is Wayne being questioned by the police. Now, let's see if I've noticed a few things that are a bit weird about it. Because if you were taking a person if you were going to question a person on a high-profile murder, would you get it all documented? Would you get them down the station, get them in front of a proper recorder and question them under caution or whatever, or do you have a kind of casual chat with them in their front room? When police questioned Cousins, he concocted a lie about owing. What do you think? That cat in the background, CGI maybe? A fictitious Eastern European gang money for unpaid call girls. That voice is very strange. It's almost like, oh, do you know what? We're watching it on 50%, that's why. We will change that to full speed. My apologies. No wonder he sounded so robotic.
Well, I am in financial, and I've been.
So yeah, like I said, they've got him confessing now, or they've got him doing something. Unfortunately, I mean, they're relying on a body cam. Who relies on body cams to get this kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't ring true to me. Well, I'm not sure if this is the same video, but at one point we hear the police questioning him and talking to him. It just doesn't sound, it just, yeah, very nonsensical. Faceless police officers, these are, could be anyone talking to him. But for the time that this is Axon Body 3, yeah, it could be anyone.
Okay.
But whoever it was sold the footage, sold the evidence in this police inquiry, flogged it off to the Daily Telegraph for some reason. Anyway, let's hear Wayne talk about being concocting some story that he collected call girls from Europe.
Who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever. And they told me, well, I need to go and pick up girls and get into them. So I said...
He's saying all this without well, as far as we know, without legal representation. He's just agreed to start talking about his involvement in the possible, well, at this point, murder of a high-profile person. And he hasn't got a lawyer with him. He's a police officer, though, so he's probably aware of how this system works.
Happening. And it then came through that they're going to harm my family, take them away, and they'll use them instead.
He claimed he handed over Everard to the gang alive.
Try and find somebody. I don't know. They just... I just parked my car up, and then the van come up behind me, flashed me, and they all jumped out, and then they took this girl.
Could they be more casual about this? It's ridiculous. I mean, other than that he's in handcuffs, do they really let you sit down in your front room after they arrest you for a murder? Do they really let you sit down at home and talk about your involvement? No, I think they get you down to the station, as we said, get all the proper recording equipment set up and take the confession. At least that's how it plays out on, what was that well, Inspector Morse, for example. I've got the cat at the window wanting to be let in. Bear with me 1 second.
They said, you've done good.
Okay. Right, I'm going to have a look at the live chat. Mudlark says he thought we were referring to Wayne Couzens dying. Got it now. No, as far as we know, Wayne hasn't topped himself in his cell just yet. Perhaps that will happen at a future date. Mudlark said, I guess, referring to the video we watched earlier, I don't think a real premature baby would have the energy to do that. I'm not even sure that's supposed to be a premature baby. One thing that did enter... No. If it was a real baby, but we won't go there. Right. Bob says, I've seen a few that didn't look natural. Are we referring to babies? Do you mean in the real world you've seen a few that don't look natural? Or because there's tons of them on Instagram. The ones I see in real life are definitely... Right, okay, we've got basically slowed down footage of Sarah as she leaves the area. Let me find it. Where is that? Okay. Right, this again is that video we watched earlier, but zoomed in, close up. Right, JT33, greetings, thanks for joining us. Good to see you in the live chat. And Phil Wright, thank you, evening. Thanks for joining us. Phil Wright says, Star Trek more real than that. So that's a reference to William Shatner going into space. What a complete joke. We might have time to look at that later. But yeah, complete, in my opinion, and that complete bullspit, the way a 90-year-old going up in a rocket, being blasted off, and then whacked back down to Earth. Complete bullspit. But we might look at that later. Right. Mudlark says, I guess Emma B needs some attention. Yes, this was a lady who claimed... See, I don't think Emma B decided to come out with this story. Does Emma have a very common look about her? I mean, not common, but familiar look about her? Does she have all the usual wide shoulder traits and square jaw? But whatever. Susan Byrne says, oh, William Shatner, what a shit actor. And Susan says, not just a shit actor, what a shit show. Definitely agree. The space, all the space stuff we see, in my opinion, is a load of trash. And that is, again, going back to who we earlier paid tribute to, Rob Skiba. We were watching some videos on a playlist of his. He touched upon that. He touched upon space and the fakeness of space, and did a good investigation of a... let's see, I'm not sure if we can... Yeah, he's got hundreds of videos on here. He did one about the moon. Oh, he's done loads about the moon, apparently. Yeah, he did a good demonstration where a test of footage of the moon apparently being filmed from what you call the dark side passing Earth. Clearly CGI. He did some stuff on that. Tons of it. I certainly recommend checking this guy's channel out. Yeah, and very unfortunate to hear of his passing, Rob Skiba. At the very beginning, if you weren't here, we did watch a tribute to him. Phil Wright and JT point out the 33 that came up in the Sarah Everard case. I'm not sure where else it comes up. As far as I know, am I right that he's already been found guilty? Yeah, given a whole life sentence already. Okay, we're in October. Tell you what these photos very strongly remind me of. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this person does not exist. And you can get some dead ringers. I mean, this is just an image that the computer generates in a matter of seconds. None of these people are real. They're just it's two. I think they overlaid two pictures, and yeah, I mean, they can make very realistic looking faces. They all look a bit disturbing. Do you remember the video on the Rob Skiba playlist about the Valley of Uncanny, or the Uncanny Valley, that's it, where people feel kind of slightly grotesque, but by images which are very close to looking real, but are not quite. Let's see. So yeah, that is who... pictures of this person reminds me of. I'm gonna... Right, Susan says, I think this is all about getting men off the street with a curfew because, well, we all know. Men off the street or just absolutely everyone off the street? Personally, I'm not sure. I think if they want people off the streets, then maybe they would attempt to, first of all, curfew men, but I think they would just curfew everyone. and they demonstrated that they're not beyond doing that, not even a curfew, a complete shutdown. If they want to say you people can only go out of your homes before the hours of, let's say, 10 p.m, for example, and if you're male it's 8 p.m, well, yeah, people will absolutely go along with that. They will have no problems. You could then come out and tell them to do handstands in the street every Wednesday evening. Come out 8 p.m. each week and do handstands in the street, and that is your way of showing your thanks to everyone for happily staying at home. Anyway, we haven't massively touched upon that one tonight, which I'm pleased about, because it doesn't half get, talking about that rubbish. The more people talk about it, the further we are ever from getting away from it. So in terms of BS19, I won't ignore it altogether, but it's been massively over talked about. So it's interesting to see them move on to another story. A couple of things actually. At the moment, they're inundating us with climate change rubbish. The idea that the humans are capable of wiping themselves out by making the world too hot or too cold, absolute trash in my opinion. A massive over-exaggeration of what, as a species or whatever, humans are ever capable of. We cannot affect the weather that much. I think is complete crud. To say that what we breathe out, carbon dioxide, is a pollutant, it's not a pollutant. Climate change is complete trash, okay? Wouldn't believe a word of it. Right, before I jump on to looking at this subject, I will just quickly look at the chat once more. JT33 says they're about to bring in some tea and crumpets. Phil Wright, if it was real, he'd be saying no comment, referring of course to Wayne being interviewed by the police. Of course you would. They wouldn't be talking about it with him. And there was more footage actually of Wayne that I would have been curious to look at. There was one more video of him being interviewed. Let's see. Wayne Couzens interviewed. Yeah, the way the police talk to him in this is absolutely ridiculous. Alright, why would you be doing this in his front room, for one thing? Sorry, we will go back onto climate change in a minute. I did want to just see this clip. Apologies, my subjects do jump back and forth a fair bit. I can be swayed quite easily to kind of go off my point and start talking about something completely different. So I'll try and stay just on focus on this. Just final thing on Wayne Couzens. Yeah, so for example, can I say for 1 million billion % sure that Couzens and Sarah are CGI fabrications? To satisfy myself, yes I can, but obviously you people would have to form your own opinions. This is the side of it I'm putting out. They can do so much now with CGI and all of this sort of things that to fabricate a case like this. Anyway, so just to top it off, did we watch the footage of, this was slowed down footage of Sarah. This is it in real time. Watch how weird she walks. Hang on, no, that's a slowed down one. No, this is real time. Her walking here is real time when you play it with the cars. This is when you zoom in on it, but not adjusting the speed. And this is slowed down. As you can see, the second hand, where the arrow's just gone past, isn't moving as fast. Yeah, that was just a last bit of footage I wanted to watch on this. Again, bear in mind, whatever camera they're using, it's picking up green. So it's picking up some colours in the background. It's not all black and white and grey. You can see green, but this lady appears completely white. She's just different scales of grey. And when you see her hop along in a second. Okay. Look at the seconds moving at regular time, and this is slowed down. Okay, right, so we've seen that. We'll watch Wayne Couzens and his ridiculous interview with the police. I might take a 2-minute interval actually while we watch this. And then we will just listening to how he talks about this. We'll play it from the start in a minute. Apologies for the poor sound quality on this video. He is difficult to hear, but it is also playing through my microphone. Right. And you might hear me in the background running water or something. But yeah, apologies. Just trying to focus on how ridiculous this interview is with the police. Why aren't they doing it at the local station? Why is one of the people interviewing him wearing a red top and jeans? Is that what they're telling us the police officer's dressing like? Just wore jeans to work? Like, yeah, of course. No. I don't know if you ever know. The majority of police officers I ever see, even plain clothes ones, I don't suppose sometimes they wear jeans, whatever. Beside the point. But this isn't what I would expect this sort of interview to look like. No, he's showing him his phone. The best image he's got of Sarah ever had is on his phone, and it's the same image that they shared with the public.
Do you know Sarah?
I don't know.
Okay. Sarah went missing. Sarah went missing on Wednesday. And her parents obviously really worried about her. The inquiry has been conducted so far. I was left to come and speak to you about it and to see what you know about Sarah, okay? So, would you like to, do you know where Sarah is?
No.
No. Do you know anything about what happened to her?
I know that she went missing up in London somewhere. About a week ago or so. Just from what I've got on the
As I believe, was it Mudlark or someone saying that this guy would just be saying no comment all the way through. He would not be. I mean, considering he is supposed to be a police officer, looks. I've seen more convincing police officers on Emmerdale Farm. I will tell you that though. Whenever you see him dressed as one. In fact, all the pictures I've seen of him always look kind of slightly different. This one, I mean, yeah, as we saw in America, the police officer, I forget the name, the one that supposedly finished off Floyd George, even though, again, that looked very much like CGI. It had that same Uncanny Valley where the police officer's legs don't move quite right, and it is repulsive what you're seeing, but okay, we'll play on a sec.
Okay. Have you ever personally met her?
No, not personally.
Have you had any interactions with her at all?
Why would I have personal interactions with her?
Well, it's very difficult because I can't go into a lot of the evidence because obviously that's not part of what an urgent interview is, okay? This interview is just about trying to find her. Because she's been missing for a while now.
I'm sat in handcuffs and what I know her, so you must have something to say that I know her.
Well, as I said, you've been arrested on suspicion of kidnapping, and we believe that you've been involved in her disappearance and taking her away from her family.
Okay.
So we are trying to find her. Obviously, everybody is very worried about her. She's got, parents. She's got, she's got siblings. She's got a boyfriend. There's a lot of people that care about her.
Sure.
You've seen her on the news. The number of people that are reaching out about her.
Sure.
They're looking for her every day, and she's missing. And our job, our primary job here, is to find her and to try and find her safe and well.
Okay.
Now, we believe if you know something about where she is, and that's why we're here, to look for her and to try and find her. And that's why we're talking to you now, is to try and get you to have a good think about it and tell us anything you can about whether or not we're trying.
Okay. Well, I am in financial, and I've been lent on by, I don't know who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever. And they told me, well, I need to go and pick up girls and pick them to them. So I said, what's happening? And it then came through that they're going to harm my family, take them away, use them instead. At that point, I had no option to try and find somebody. So I don't. There's a couple of names. I was told a place to take her. That's it. That is all I know.
Wayne Couzens, you are full of shit, according to official narrative. We could actually say that you are talking spit, but the reality is, who knows? That voice is very strange, very robotic, computer-generated, voice changer. Again, the environment in which this interview is taking place just isn't, again, believable. They're trying to get someone to confess to a murder in their front room. I don't think it works like that.
To this group of people.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know.
Okay.
That is a very non-believable police officer. Don't buy the way he's talking. Right, this does go on for a few minutes, actually. I don't know how much we want to watch it. Just looking at the live chat. I'm reading backwards. So from Susan says she looks like a ghost. Yep, absolutely. They both do, actually, in those videos. Holograms. Feel right, lights, camera, action. Exactly what's going on here. I don't want to deny anyone who wants to watch this, but yeah, it happened on the 3rd of the 3rd. This is already on the 9th of the 3rd, so just 6 days later. They did at least wait until September to release it, but you have to kind of consider that, did the police force actually sell this footage? Did they just make it publicly available? That the last movements of this woman that was killed is just made public knowledge? It doesn't seem correct to me. And as we know, well, as we are informed, big crimes, murders do take place very, fortunately not massively regularly, but statistics would say they could report on, if they're going to give a lot of coverage to this one, then why would they not do it with more of other ones? Quite often, a lot of whenever deaths in suspicious circumstances seem to happen, they don't make the information known. It's all kept very quiet until it goes, even in court, and sometimes documents are locked away afterwards. As was in the case of Dunblane, apparently all the information was put under lock and key for 100 years. They have these things in courts where they can say no one's allowed to revisit this case for however long. Crazy stuff. But not in the case of this. They just put it all out there. They put it on YouTube and then play ads alongside it. Basically, yeah, making profiting off of this vile situation. It just doesn't ring true. Right, I want to keep. Right. JT33 says they're about to bring in some tea and crumpets. I'm with you now. Yeah, it's how it looks. It's very unrealistic. I do think, as I said, the cat in the background could be someone practicing their CGI. Maybe even that lamp. Who knows, perhaps the whole room. I'm not sure about the people, but...
A white Sprinter van.
Is that someone sniggering when he says about white something van? Hang on.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know that I
Okay.
that you'll have me.
There was a white Sprinter van.
I think someone sniggered at the sound of that.
They are between sort of Lenham, Maidstone area that I dropped her off.
Yeah, I tell you what, Wayne, you do all this without a solicitor or legal representation. It's insane. Right, I see people are talking about William Shatner. We can have a quick look at that in a minute. Right, Mudlark says... there was another story about Wayne Couzens assaulting a drag queen. I hadn't heard that one. Let's have a look. It's a very bizarre story. I mean, how quickly was... I mean, these stories are just a few days old, which is a bit odd. So they're continually coming out about it. Two of the headlines are more or less identical. The Metro. Who should we read? The Daily Mail. Wayne Couzens molested a drag queen at a bar near his home and said, "I'm an officer," as he demanded dark alley sex 3 years before raping and murdering Sarah Everard. The drag queen was accused... yeah, I would see, actually, from the footage I've seen, Wayne Couzens, whoever he may be, looks like... I mean, it looks... someone's playing the part, okay, I would say. I mean, who knows, perhaps they could make that a completely computer-generated person, but if they have done it, then they've done it to a very real effect. Although that picture of him there, they always struggle to get the ears. And what you notice about Sarah Everard is, I don't think you ever see her ears. If you do, I mean, what's going on there with that ear? Check this ear out. That is not a natural ear. I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, we're looking at, as we look at her, it would be her left ear. You can sort of see it scoops out and then comes down at a very funny angle. She has no right ear. Every picture of her ears are usually, here we go, completely hidden. And that's because basically they're too lazy to CGI ears. They just can't be bothered to do it. Look, no ear whatsoever here on her right ear. No sign of it. I'm not sure if that's meant to be her as well. No, these are different people. All noticeably, most of them without ears, but anyway. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, I have absolutely no problem in saying this person is completely CGI'd. Where is her ears in this photo? Couldn't be bothered to make them. Couldn't be stuffed with it. We stuck her with eyes. We've got nose on her. And a mouth. Looks fairly real. We've overlaid it with skin tone 458. But we couldn't be bothered to put ears on her. No problem. Again, no ears. I'm not quite sure what that hair is tucking behind, because this is a human being without ears. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the film Reservoir Dogs. There's a scene in it that again involving a police officer, where they attempt to hack off the ear. Now, if Sarah Everard was ever in that situation, what would they do? Because they would pull her hair back and see that she has absolutely no hair under there at all, no ear under there at all. The best they could do, here she is again, couldn't be bothered to make ears. And as we said, the best they can do is this weird shape going off the left side of her face. Very weird. Doesn't look like a natural ear, I can tell you that. Nothing on this side. Shame I can't zoom in closer. Yeah, a load of that person again. Who knows? Okay, Sarah Everard. Let's see. Phil Wright says, "Lad I know killed his ex, nothing disclosed for ages." Absolutely. That is what you would expect. You would not expect the victim of a murder to be absolutely plastered across every newspaper. And didn't they have some sort of demonstration afterwards where the police again got aggressive? I know Susan says she thinks it could all lead to men being removed from the streets. We will see. I mean, perhaps there is an undertone of that. Sarah Everard vigil, hundreds at Central London event despite pretty petrol plea. I thought this was the one where a load of police officers got aggressive and dragged them out. And again, educate your sons, great story. Not all men, but only 3% from all women. And boys will be boys, held accountable. Not all men, but enough men. Great slogans. Again, this demonstration, we've seen it all before with. We are going to touch on this story before we finish. Climate change, absolute nonsense. I mean, but they are shoehorning it into every aspect of your life. They will try and force these stories on you one way or another, just as they did with the Sarah case. Yeah, I did want to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I believe it was Bristol where there was some kind of riot and women were assaulted. Maybe it was Sarah Everard. Arrests as police clash with protesters at, it was Clapham Common. Again, look at that perfectly posed for picture. Mourners arrested at Sarah Everard. There's 4 police officers all huddled around some ginger woman. It's just the thumbnail, unfortunately, but again, all these pictures, all these people seem to be dragged in front of the cameras to make sure the camera gets a good look at them being dragged away. Wow, that's loud. Hang on. Got the camera crew there, haven't they? Make sure the camera crew are on hand to capture all of this. That's some professional camera equipment they've got there. So they were obviously expecting something to happen. You don't hire this equipment out unless you plan to capture some good footage. And yeah, the press aren't going to leave it to chance. So they say, stuff it, save money, we'll just make our own footage. Actually, we'll go to AP or whoever it is, Reuters, and we'll just buy pre-packaged news off of them. A lot easier than actually going out and finding it yourself.
Move back! Move back!
That was that was very staged. That looked ridiculous. I'm not sure if this is all supposed to be women doing this, or if gate crashers have just come in and started trashing a police van, but not in a very difficult way. Very lightly taps the wing mirror. Hang on. Very lightly punched it. It was already broken. He's got his red cap on. Perhaps he's a director. Perhaps that was the warning for the police to come running around the corner. Once you hear me tap the wing mirror. Yeah. Where else do we see this sort of protests? Well, climate change again. Apparently all the soaps in Britain are going to unite to combat it because, as I said, they believe that humans have the ability to change the temperature long term. Not something I share a belief in. Absolute trash to believe that too many people breathing out carbon dioxide is going to warm up the world. No, don't think so. Completely in line with the story about William Shatner. I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to look at that tonight. So yeah, if you do watch the soaps, personally, I am a fan, kind of. I do follow them, yeah. I do watch a couple of them. Mainly because of my better half enjoys them, or maybe that's an excuse. I do enjoy a bit of light entertainment. There's also, yeah, I would say I watch them for research to spot all the inverts, you could say. But yeah, everyone on all the soaps are going to cross over and appear on each other just to send a message that everyone's got to sort himself out because you could die. Who were the other ones? Who was the... right, Rob. We were going to look at William Shatner. I will probably be winding down shortly. Apparently this guy's 90 years old. The wonderful YouTuber who sometimes graces our comment section is Level Earth Observer. He's made a good video on this. Perhaps I'll put a link to his channel. Well worth watching. Let's see. EFG. Okay, yeah, I'll link to this guy's channel. He did one about William Shatner. Has Captain Kirk realised the globe is BS? Right. JT33, they look soulless. And Phil Wright says man face. I'm guessing that's a reference to the earless person. Right, yeah, this is Level Earth Observer, a channel who I would recommend going to for his take on William Shatner going into space. Personally, right. Right, where is it? Doesn't actually come up, strangely. Who is it? Blue Origin, I believe they're called. Blue Origin launches William Shatner into space. Everyone on Earth needs to see this. As far as I'm concerned, it is kind of laughable. Would anyone seriously get into one of these things and let it blast you off into space? It's crazy. It's not real life.
Ladies and gentlemen,
oh. Again, I need to turn this down. Look, Thunderbirds are absolutely go. How fake does that look? Those plastic pipes. We noticed we didn't watch William Shatner jump into that. Or maybe they'll show us, I don't know, but let's see. I'll try turning the volume up in a minute.
After weeks of anticipation, the short rocket ride for a few minutes in microgravity seemed almost anticlimactic.
A few minutes in microgravity. Look, they've got their numbers. I'm not sure if you can see the 2 on the side of the screen and the 3. Just squeezing 23 there.
This aerospace expert says that
they show you surprisingly little of it, because perhaps if you watch too much of it, you would realise how ridiculous it is, like when 90-year-old William Shatner crashes back down to Earth. I haven't seen that yet, but I'd be really interested to.
Not mainstream yet, but it's getting there. And this is showing the world that increasingly
they also
more people can
sent some elderly
what got
woman.
Shatner his ticket to ride was his role as James T. Kirk.
Risk is our business. That's what the Starship is all about.
Elon Musk is winning the wealth war, but Bezos is definitely winning the PR war.
This PR pro says the casting was brilliant.
When you think about William, you think about Star Trek, all of that put together, and he is beloved by.
They're talking about supposedly sending someone on a rocket ride, and they're talking about casting. What on earth? And this person looks bizarrely proportioned as well. Look at those big sticking out brow ridges. Anyway, what I would like to see is actual footage of William Shatner in space, not these people talking about it.
So many, because he's 90 years old and he behaves in many ways like he's 40. He's unstoppable.
Space researcher Sogan Talebi is one of many who credits Captain Kirk with her career path.
So when they start with,
she has, of course, put herself in front of a CGI screen of going into space. Bit of a hint, perhaps, at how William will be doing it.
Exploration and then discovery.
But this morning's mission had another aspect.
See, why didn't they show him crashing down to Earth? Isn't that what everyone wants to see? The pod come back down?
For Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos.
William Shatner's 90 years old, so to bring someone that's 90 up in space, what it ticked off is that this is truly a safe mission.
What? Truly a staged mission? Doesn't get any more obvious than that. Come on, they're literally telling you. This is space tourism.
Shatner's 90 years old, so to bring someone that's 90 up in space, what it ticked off is that this is truly a safe mission.
Did she say staged mission? I can't trust my hearing anymore. Space mission or staged mission? Perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps my hearing is failing. Well, it's failed me before.
His bluster when Shatner returned, he seemed humbled.
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine.
Notice how dark it all is. If they don't do lighting, it means they save on makeup. Who knows what else they might overlay onto this thing, but if they make sure the picture quality is really poor, they don't have to worry about it. It all looks green screen to me. Perhaps they turn the darkness setting down so low because, I mean, this is deliberate. They don't set it to be this dark I mean, there are cameras that can adjust for low quality, and if you were going to film William Shatner getting out of a rocket, which landed perfectly on its base after coming down at some ridiculous speed, even though of course they claim they slow themselves down, but why would the lighting be so dark? I'm sure they could set it up better.
I'm so filled with emotion.
A real-world reflection from the captain who inspired so many. Eli Glasgow.
I would say that background, very poor quality, very little going on. Looks like a set to me, actually. Very much like when they landed on the moon. You've just got one single hill in the background, no detail. These people don't really look like they're stood out in a field somewhere. And actually, again, the shadows, look how... yeah.
CBC News, Toronto.
So there you have it. The model of composure, pretty clearly feeling a lot of feelings after that trip. We wanted to play a bit more for you of what he had to say in his first moments after landing.
But to see the blue color go whoop by, and now you're staring into blackness. That's the thing. The covering of blue, this sheet, this blanket, this comforter of blue that we have around. We think, oh, it's blue sky. And then suddenly you shoot through it all of a sudden, as though you whip off a sheet off you when you're asleep, and you're looking into blackness, into black ugliness. And you look down, there's the blue down there, and the black up there, and it's just, there is Mother and Earth and comfort, and is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is? Whoop, and it's gone. Jeez. It was so moving to me.
I personally think that is William Shatner just doing a bit of acting.
In a Texas field,
they could potentially send people up into... I don't think they'd be sending up 90-year-old people, personally. Who was the other person that did a ridiculous-looking old lady? And I don't mean that in a nasty way, but she could barely get in and out of the pod. Literally, it looked like she was walking on stilts. Peggy or Penny, whoever it was, let's see. And she was clearly reading her script up there. I'm not sure where it is now, but yeah, it's the first woman in to go up there. Some such rubbish. What was her name? Peggy? It might not be. No, this is supposedly an astronaut though, Peggy Whitson. Yeah, I'm in full agreement that anyone that says they completely fabricate everything they should tell us about the world and space, it's all fabricated. Yeah, completely agree with you. Don't trust these people to tell us the truth on anything. Absolutely nothing. They'll feed you one lie after another. They'll sell you this crap and call it not a staged photograph with the CGI department. They'll sell you this ridiculous interview from this guy's front room, and they'll want you to believe that this was the moment the guy was questioned about his involvement, and then 6 months after it all happened, and they put it on YouTube. Ridiculous. Right, well, there's a crossover and a half. In a stunning intervention hours after Amazon chief bozo sent star Trek's William Shatner into orbit. How can they've got Prince William on it? I'm curious. But the video isn't playing. I don't want to watch this rubbish. The Mail Online. In fact, it is 11:30. Of course, there's still footage. Prince William slams the billionaire space race and says they should focus on. Here we go. All comes round to the same scenario again. Prince William slams the billionaire space race and says they should focus on fixing Earth's problems first. And what's that? That we're breathing out too much carbon dioxide. What a joke. How ridiculous. So how are we going to solve that? Well, let's make these demonstrations where, what do they call themselves? Climate First or, Instinct Rebellion, some rubbish like that. Reject Rebellion. They talk about eating babies, absolute insanity, truly bizarre human beings. And at every protest, at every stage protest where their chief speaker, Extinction Rebellion, that's it. Extinction Rebellion. If my spelling's all over the place, it's because it is quite late here. Phil Wright says all news is fake. You absolutely agree. Well, okay. These are the freak shows. This is tranny, of course, man dressed as a witch. Well, how... And again, more of their rubbish, should be Deception Rebellion. I've seen people graffitiing this logo in the streets, very political. In fact, there used to be a wall I'd walk past quite often, and it was a building where they were in fact, you'd probably find it on Google Earth, and guaranteed someone would always have spray painted a very poignant political slogan on it, and it was either about climate change or politics. What was it? Right. I'm not sure if Google will load up actually. In case it reveals my... Do you know what? I'm going to have to shut down my screen just for 1 minute while I do a bit of searching. I will actually be coming to an end very soon. Huge thanks to everyone who's joined us this evening and listened through. Not my usual night to do a live stream, but Phil Wright Extinction, thank you. Thanks for filling it in. The world is dumb. Susan Byrne. They must think we're morons. Phil Wright says a wooden chair would act better than that. I'm guessing that was right. Where are we? That was Wayne Couzens being interviewed that you were referring to. Yeah, I want to find this street on Google Maps, but I'm wary of. Yeah, it might give my exact home address. Not that I mind people necessarily knowing where I live. Let's see. They have got me. They think my location is... They're not far off. They say Corsham Court. That isn't exactly where I am, but not far away. Right, okay, I can share my screen again. Oop. Oh, let's press the run. Okay. I can hear my fans starting to whir now in the... Which means they are starting to heat up. Where is it? I used to walk regularly along the Upper Bristol Road. Okay. Let me zoom out. Okay. it was along this way. How do you change it to... Right. Huh, odd. I accidentally tapped DaVinci Resolve to switch on, and it slows everything down. It was a mistake, believe me. Hopefully it won't shut down the live stream. Right, yeah, sorry people, bear with me. I've messed up. I've got the live stream. No, I've got the wrong program loading up. So let me shut that down if I can. Apologies. Yeah, I was gonna start winding down anyway. I think trying to get Google Maps to load while my computer is starting to complain wasn't a great idea. Phil Wright. Okay, went past a spray-painted sign over motorway bridge on way to Stockport today. Phil, did it give some sort of political message? Susan says the Extinction Rebellion post photos in the Daily Mail today. What a surprise! Yeah, they are going to be. Let's see. They're going to be forcing a lot of stuff on us about that coming soon. Right. Yeah, I will be winding down this live stream very shortly, but huge thanks to everyone who's joined in, particularly Susan Byrne, who has been with us since the very beginning. So she just noticed something, guys. Everyone here tonight are spanners, including me. I did see someone earlier that wasn't actually. If anyone wants to have a spanner, you're more than welcome. Eamon Pudama, greetings, thanks for joining us. Extinction Rebellion, educated retards. I wouldn't be at all surprised if a lot of them do come from like universities and stuff. I know they love getting involved in that kind of thing. Yeah, I actually remember on the morning of a protest, it was all pre-planned protest. You could see all students getting ready with their banners. It was clearly it was something that probably the college or university that these kids came from had clearly, said it's time to leave school. In fact, I think they let kids leave school to take part in a particular march or something. Just abandon your abandon going to school. You can guarantee mainstream education, they won't let you too far from the rubbish they want you to believe. So if they're letting you out of school to take part in the protest, you can be fairly sure that, or in fact even encouraging kids to leave school. Okay, we may have solved the issue. Done. Okay, right, I will actually be winding down in a minute. The infinity effect. Do people have an issue with infinity effect? I know some people, like, they give warnings that they're going to see it soon. Okay, do I have the... Can I find the road I'm referring to? Upper Bristol Road, Lower Bristol Road, this one. It must be. Here we are, yeah, it's around here somewhere, and you can guarantee they've always got some political slogan graffitied on this particular wall. Oh, I've gone way too far. Actually, come to think of it, I haven't been down this road in a while, so perhaps they finished the building work, but I would guess back when we are getting there. This is the railway on this side. Where are we? Right, we're not far away now. We're a few clicks away. Once I've shown you this, I will... Right, we're literally just around this corner is the area, the wall I'm on about. This black wall here, maybe nothing's on it now, perhaps they've painted over it, but it was always covered with graffiti. Okay, covered with something slightly different now. Perhaps they're sending a message to people, trying to convince them to use illicit drugs. But no, normally there's sort of things about, you know, basically repeating rubbish that had been in the press about all the usual rubbish. But apparently when these pictures were taken on Google Street View, they weren't doing it. Typical. Right. I hope I've looked at everything. Do you know, I'm pleased to say there is a particular subject that we haven't touched upon at all. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead on that one. It is now 20 to midnight, my time. I did want to finish by 11:30. So I'm going to call a halt to the stream. I would like to say a massive thanks to Maria Ellender, who's just joined us. Greetings, thanks for joining. JT33 says he doesn't have a wrench. You do now. Oh right, spanner wrench. You need to get a spanner. Yeah, you're more than welcome. Maria Ellender, did you show the video interview of Wayne? What, the one done from his front room? Yes, we have actually looked at that. Absolutely ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is that not only did they interview him from his front room, they also invited him... what was more ridiculous? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. It is getting late my time. I am going to be winding down. Yeah, they not only did they interview him from his front room, which were very unbelievable police officers doing the interviewing, he didn't have legal representation, and they put it all up on YouTube 6 months later. How unlikely is that? Right, so yeah, as I was saying, JT33, Susan Byrne, Maria Ellender, Phil Wright, Iman Pudama. I did see someone else. Mudlight digging up the Thames, of course. I don't know if you're still with us. If you are, thanks for tuning in. Glad you could make it. Bob Mule was here earlier. I don't know if you're still with us, Bob Mule, but thanks for joining. If you are, have I missed anyone? If anyone's been in the live chat tonight and said hello and I've not mentioned you, my apologies. Please put a goodbye in and I'll make sure I do. JT, you say it's a great stream. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I do quite often play out on your video, actually, on one of your videos, and I think I will do the same thing tonight. It is your latest one. I do have a link for it somewhere, which I'll put in the live chat right now. well, as soon as we play it. Gaia's Revenge. Let's see. Yeah, thanks JT. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks everyone for joining. I normally do a Sunday evening, but the last one I was unable. Now I will try and be back this Sunday, although I did it Thursday this week. We'll see. I'll do my best to do a Sunday evening live stream. Otherwise, I will certainly be around in the week. Okay. Much appreciate everyone joining in. I see, isn't that typical? Just as I say, I'm going to wind down. I see the numbers start going up. Oh, Linda Matt, greetings. Unfortunately, yeah, you popped in right at the end. Thanks for joining though, Linda. It's always nice to see you in the chat. Yeah, I think I've named everyone. Yes, we are going to play out with JT33 and his video, Gaia's Revenge. I do need to find a link to it. So bear with me 1 minute. Any predictions for news stories in the next week? What we might see? What are we? End of October, coming up to Halloween. Do you think they'll do any stories about people being possessed or something, or ghost sightings? I will be leaving links to all these videos in the description of tonight's video. Yeah, I certainly recommend checking out JT33's YouTube channel. There will be a link to it. I'm just setting that up. I hope you all have a great week. Thanks everyone for joining and sharing your thoughts in the live chat. Sorry if I've not been able to keep up with it particularly well today. Right, this is I'll just link to the actual channel, and the videos are all on there. Right, sorry, my computer's going very slow tonight. Right, okay, good night everyone, thanks for joining, and here is JT33 music. And okay, Maria Allender, zombie apocalypse. Wouldn't be at all surprised. E-Man says he doesn't think they want us to believe in the supernatural. Maybe not. They certainly seem to mock it. Like, they'll highlight stories of charlatans, people getting found out for being fake fortune tellers and stuff. No, I think they, and like Mystic Meg, for example, making a mockery of the whole idea of it's supernatural, but I'm 1,000,000% a believer. I 100% know that there is a much higher force, a much greater force, a creator, someone that we will have to answer to one day. We will have to give an account of ourselves. Yeah, so, and I think you're right, the mainstream media don't want people taking that too seriously. Okay. E-Man says, the only thing that seems to be contagious is gullibility. Absolutely, unfortunately so. Yeah, I know a lot of very intelligent people, well, you know, relatively intelligent, and they buy it hook, line and sinker. They don't question any of it. And in fact, they're of the opinion that if you do question it, then you're the one that is, you know, kind of has a challenged thinking. Your thinking is, well, hard to say really. Not that you're necessarily unintelligent, but they certainly think that you've got issues basically. But I have the complete flip opinion to that. I believe anyone that believes anything they hear on mainstream and without question is, let's say, I think E-Man used the word gullibility. I think that's ideal. Okay, Maria says, sorry she missed most of tonight's show. I am also sorry, Maria, but you can flip back to the beginning. If you didn't catch it, we start with a tribute to the YouTuber Rob Skiba, and we play a video of a talk he gave in 2015 where he predicts that there could be a pandemic. Ironically, if you want to use that word, people are claiming that he died of BS19, which is a bit odd, but I believe anyone that has respiratory problems at the minute, I mean, I'm not going to speculate at the poor guy's death, so that's disrespectful, but anyone with respiratory problems at the moment probably gets branded as a case. They will not waste an opportunity to up the numbers, as it were. It all means more funding for the bullshit NHS, but maybe that's a story for another week. I am done for tonight. Phil Wright, always right to me. Yep, you absolutely are. Mr. Wright is in the house. Always great to have you. Most of the world is The Walking Dead. Do you know what? When I do actually come across some people, when they've got those masks on, they become pretty, what's the word? Oxygen deprived, we'll say. You can see that oxygen deprivation is hitting pretty hard, and you have to have sympathy for these people. Don't take their ignorance and by ignorance I mean just their inability to function. Don't take it personally. It's a fault caused by the fact that they've shut off their oxygen supply. Crazy world. Okay, good night everyone. Thanks for joining it, everyone. Particularly Susan Byrne. Well, all of you. I appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. Susan's been with us from the very beginning though, as was Mudlark Digging Up the Thames, pretty much. All of you, Phil Wright, and it's always good to see familiar names. I'll catch you soon. I'll be back with more. I'm starting to ramble now, so I'm going to have to press the mute button and stop. Good night, everyone.
Extreme conditions leading to extreme concern. As scientists say, climate change shows no signs of slowing its deadly rampage.
Scientists have predicted this for the last 70 years, but it's actually happening more quickly and it's more intense than we realized.
Shows no signs of slowing. Scientists now say it would have been virtually impossible without human-caused climate change. Conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive. The sea level's rising, and the media is lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever a war on your side. Where will you go?
Where will you go when the sea levels rise up to swallow you? Just another politically partisan issue, they seem to follow you. Sounds to me like a psyop. I'll cut off the head of the Cyclops. His lies are incredibly venomous. He's spitting that ridiculous sadistic shit. Sadomasochist, I'll be spontaneous. Some life must be getting dangerous with this outrageousness. I've played like this for so long, I'll really stay like this. Yo, jot it down and put it on the misinformation list and step back to the line. I've crossed all my T's and dotted my I's, trying to redefine what is left on the inside. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the world that they rage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the world that they rage on you. Can anyone guess what's coming next? Just how long do we remain locked down, vaccinated and muzzled with Big Brother's foot on our necks? This life is a test to put forward the best of you. That is the quest for you. Learn to be humble. You gotta grow from your slips and your stumbles. Forget what the media mumbles. Then sit back and watch as the narrative crumbles. When all that you think that you thought that you knew was a lie. This is a war on your mind, body and soul. They're waging for total control. It's just a part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Sea levels rising, and the media's lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war on your side. Where will you go?
Harsh conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive.
The sea level